Why do people miss old games more than new ones? Because whenever this topic comes up, someone always says nostalgia, like that's the end of the discussion. Like people are just being emotional and looking back with their rose-tinted glasses. But I don't think nostalgia automatically means people are wrong. People know something felt better, but they don't always know how to explain why. And I think if you actually break it down piece by piece, it's not just about old games being better. It's about how gaming used to feel better. When people think about old games, they usually think about first-time experiences. Let's take Call of Duty Black Ops for example. Your first time playing, you're terrified, you don't know how to play the game, but that's what makes nostalgia. Another thing people forget is how slowly games were played back then. You weren't watching YouTube videos to tell you the best loadouts on day one. You weren't optimizing every single decision. If you were playing something like Minecraft, for example, you were just constantly experimenting every single day you entered that world. There was no pressure to play it correctly. And on the plus side as well for that game, your expectations were lower as well. You weren't comparing frame rates or comparing the game to 10 other games you'd had just played. You were just playing what you had, and sometimes you'd play that game for months. That slower pace made the experience feel more personal, like the game was yours, not something you were rushing into to keep up with others. Now compare that to how a lot of games feel today. You log on and instead of asking yourself, what do I feel like doing today? You ask yourself, what do I need to do? And some modern games just feel like a job, as if you're clocking into a 9 to 5. You've got all these tasks to do and you just need to tick them off. And that's all because you just don't want to fall behind your friends as well. Games like Fortnite, for example, when they first came out, it was all about having fun with your friends, building that nostalgia experience. But give it about a year later, and people are building Eiffel Towers, 360 towers before you can even pull out your gun. And if you took a week break off, you realize you were falling behind others and realistically getting smoked in gunfights. And I feel like Fortnite, for example, puts that pressure on you. And that pressure that comes from Fortnite to keep up with the other surrounding players in the game changes the whole vibe, because you're not playing because you want to, you're playing because you have to. That's when games stop feeling like an escape and feeling more like a task. And I don't think this happened because developers suddenly forgot how to make good games. It happened because business models changed. Games stopped being products and became more of services. Instead of, here's a complete game, enjoy it. How long can we keep you playing? How often can we bring you back? How many times can we get you to spend money over the course of the game? That's where battle passes and loot boxes come in. Give FIFA Ultimate Team, for example. To keep up with the best of the best, you have to have a good team as well. You can't just have an all bronze team going up against, I don't know, a full icon team. You're gonna get battered. The game isn't just about playing football anymore. It's about opening packs and staying engaged all year as if it's a 9 to 5. And that shift completely changes the player's experience. Another massive change was ownership. You used to buy the game and that was it. No updates, no worrying about if services would still be online. You owned the game physically and that's all that mattered. Now it feels like you're not buying a game anymore. A game can literally disappear if it's no longer profitable. And that changes how people connect to games. When something feels permanent, you invest in it emotionally. You know you can come back to it years later. You know it will still be there. That's why people can play old games and feel something immediately. With modern games, there's always this sense that it's temporary. Even if the game is good, it feels disposable. And just to be clear, old games weren't flawless. There was tons of glitches, no checkpoints. Sometimes you couldn't even save the game. And if those same nostalgia games were released today, I really doubt they'd make profit. But the difference with those old games is that they didn't feel draining. It felt like those glitches were a part of the game at times. Example, Mario 64, that's the red staircase glitch. And those games weren't constantly asking for your time, attention, and money on top of those issues. So people were more forgiving. When people say they miss old games, I don't think they're saying the old games were perfect. I think they miss when games felt complete, like you actually owned it. It didn't feel like a job. And yeah, part of it might be that we are older now, but I don't think that explains everything. I think the industry changed and people felt it.